Hello, my gamers. I am the Efficient Gamer, and welcome to this Blight Explained video. In this video, I'm going to show you, I'm going to be telling you everything about the Blight. Blight is a weird killer. For some reasons, but mainly because his ability is both incredibly weak and strangely strong. I don't know why this is. He's very fun to play. He's very rewarding if you know how to use him correctly. But he's just weird. He's very hard to explain. Well, easy to explain, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Like, you hear him and he sounds strong, you play him, he's weak, but once you learn him, he's actually not that bad. Until you go up against good survivors, which no killer can play well against good survivors. Because, I don't need to explain why good survivors are frustrating to go up against. They know how to loop efficiently, they know how to play the game efficiently, they know the killers are weak and exploit that. And it's just not that fun to go up against good survivors because of how the game is balanced. But back to the Blight. The best way to explain him is just weirdly fun. Because if you know how to path and, play pinball, then you can perform very well with it. But if you're just starting out as the Blight, like no perks, no add-ons, he's very boring and unforgiving and unrewarding to play. But once you do get perks and add-ons, and know pathing loops and how survivors think, then he's extremely rewarding. He's very fun, right? I'm just going to keep using that word for the entirety of this video. Fun. Because he's definitely worth. Like, he's the most fun killer in the game. He's the most fun killer in the game that I've had, personally, since, God knows when, first Legion came out. Now, that's going to be controversial, because no one liked Legion when he first came out, because he was broken, and no skill. But I had fun, because I made survivors not have a fun time, and I find that enjoyable. That's why I like Blight, because they're trying to run to a loop, and I just shot them down. It is very, very fun. Blight. He has very niche and good add-ons. Like, the two I'm running right now, Vigor's Journal and Alchemist's Ring, give me undetectable while rushing, and all my rush tokens back when I hit a survivor with a lethal rush. Like I don't here. And, I've been experimenting with some perks, and instead of Undying and Ruin, I found a new combo. Surge, Pop, Thrilling Tremors, and Agitation. If Undying ends up getting nerfed, I can see that, like me making a video on it, I can see that becoming a very strong killer build. Okay. I don't have a script for this. This is just Blight. This is just me giving my honest opinion about Blight, how fun he is, how weirdly rewarding he is, how unforgiving if you're new to him. And there's just a lot and not that much to cover. I mean, we could go over the new Ruin and Undying combo and how strong and weak it is, because it has, fucking Hex perks. But, Blight, he's strong. He's strong. I want to say that right now. He can be strong, unless you get an indoor map. If you get an indoor map, you just want to leave the game, because no killer likes indoor maps. And that is especially true for killers such as Hillbilly and Blight. No one likes indoor maps, because you can't. They're just garbage tier maps. It's hard to find gents, hard to find survivors. If they're running Iron Will, they're almost impossible to track. If they're running Lucky Break for some reason, they're even harder to track. And this right here, this is a perfect explanation why you can't use Blight's power in Chase. Because they'll just run around a car. Although this is a Cheryl mistake here, because she's kind of just running me around a car with no power after I've destroyed it. Her mistake there, I can ease down with basic and one attack. So I throw over here, try and get some barbecue stacks, and just rush over there. Now, another good combination with add-ons with Blight is the Blighted Crow and his Yellow Rat add-on. I can't remember the name of it. That moderately increases movement speed for each rush, and considerably increases movement speed for each rush. Those two together are extremely effective. You zip and zoom faster than Hillbilly. It is a lot of fun. And you could really scare survivors when you just come out of nowhere bolting at them at 250% of God knows what it is. I don't know the percentages. Breaking pallets with like that and only being stunned for a short time. You can break the pallet during while they're dropping the animation. And they don't really get that much distance because you've already got your 5 tokens back. And you rush, you down them, and rinse and repeat. See, in an open area, if you can try and get them into an open area, they're already dead. There's nothing they can do. They're dead. Because open areas are a death sentence for this, for if you're going to even this killer. Because there's just nothing you do. If you have no pallets, no windows, the best thing you do is try and juke his attack. And if he knows that you're going to, he can predict it. And then he can out-trick it. So you think you juke him, but he ends up hitting you or downing you. But that's the worst case scenario. If it's a mediocre or bad Blight, then you'll probably know what you're doing half the time. And you'll be able to easily just, hard dive to the left, hard dive to the right, and you should be pretty good. See, because Blight is a highly skilled character. You need a lot of brain power to play this killer. And I feel like that's one of the reasons he gets turned off by a lot of players. Because they just want a power where they can just set it and it kind of just does its own thing. Like with Trap, you stand in a trap, they step in a trap, it's amazing. But with killers such as Blight, who have a really high skill ceiling, because they don't really have a lot of time in a game to be able to learn that power efficiently. Or maybe that's the reason. I learn it pretty easily because it's very easy power. I rarely see Blights when I play Survivor. I more or less see Demogorgons, Clowns, and other killers such as. But I feel like the Blight can be an extremely effective killer. But that's with one buff in mind. And that's not even to him, that's to a perk. And that perk, in my that I just mentioned before, Surge. If they can get Surge to work where you just down a survivor, doesn't matter if it's with a basic or an ability attack, then that just incredibly buffs Blight, Hillbilly, Leatherface, Demogorgon. It buffs all the killers who can easily down survivors. So if they did that, then we could find 2 meta builds for killers. And that would be, Surge, Pop, Thrilling, and Agitation. And, Undying, Ruin, Tinkerer, and Barbecue. And I love Surge so much. I mean, I'm being biased here, because I love Surge. It's my favorite killer perk in the game. I love it to death. It's so much fun to use. But it's just not effective on most of the killers. Like on Legion, yeah, probably effective because he can get injured very easily and then, just down the last guy. But with other killers who can't down survivors with just basic amount of attacks, Blight, Hillbilly, Leatherface, such as, they have a hard time getting value out of Surge because they can't just basic M1 attack all the time. And unless you want to run fucking speed limiter, then you're not going to get any, if much, value out of Surge. Which can be pretty frustrating, because Surge, immediate 8% regression, and then if they're even still on it, you just hook right next to the generator and then pop it. That's 33% regression, plus the additional regression that's going to be happen after you chase survivors off that generator. And overall, Surge can be an extremely fun perk to use. Because you down a survivor, you get rewarded by every generator in proximity, getting damage for an immediate 8% regression, and continuing regression after that if there's no one on it. Like, it's it can be a good perk, but if there's 2 survivors on it, then you're gonna need pop to back it up. It's probably the main issue with Surge right now. But with that one little buff that I suggested, where you can down it without using a basic M1 attack, then, oh boy, it could become a very, very meta perk. And you throw that onto thrilling and agitation. You throw them onto a hook. You look around with thrilling. You see a generator that isn't being blocked by thrilling. You see Surge is still affecting that generator that you down the survivor with. You run over there. You pop the generator. Bada bing, bada boom. You chase the survivor. Rinse and repeat. That's why Surge could be meta. Surge and Pop could possibly be the best generator regression perks in the game if Surge got that one little buff. I know, I'm biased. I love Blight, I love Surge, I love playing Killer. It can be fun. But just the fact of how this game is balanced, that the devs just hold survivors' hands, they guide them through the killers going to, oh no, look, I missed, oh no. It's not very fun. I mean, I want to see this game succeed. It's a good game with a good premise, but with a very bad balancing team. That's the issue with Dead by Daylight, and why most of its killers suck. Except for, Nurse, Spirit, Hag. They're all very strong, but no one's... I haven't heard complaints about Nurse or Hag for a long time. Spirit, I still hear constant complaints about. I mean, she's been in the game for 2 years. She's not going to get that nerf you want. But, yeah, that's really it. Blight's a mediocre killer at worst, and, oh no, he's probably a dog shit killer at worst. Worst at worst. But he could probably be the best with map pressure and shutting down loop to loop. Like, you catch him open in the middle of an area, boom, you get a free hit. I catch 3 survivors here. Why do they all spawn together? But yeah, I don't really know what to add on to this. Blight's fun. Surge could be effective. There's possibly a second killer meta build if you want to go check that out. I mean, there's a lot of killer perks that could probably be very effective together. But no one's experimenting because they're all running Ruin and Undying, because why else would you run anything else? Everything else sucks. Especially all the killer perks. But all the survivor perks, they're dog shit. The only ones that are really worth using: Adrenaline, Dead Hard, Decisive, Unbreakable, Head On. They're the only perks worth running, because they're realistically the only perks worth a perk slot. Every other perk, like fucking Small Game, why would you run that? It's not even that good. They should really be buffing the weaker. They should really be buffing the weaker perks, both for killer and survivor. And if that doesn't really change up the meta, then they should start nerfing the top tier perks. Because I am a firm believer of you should always be buffing more than nerfing, because nerfing just drains the fun when buffing could add more enjoyment to the game. And potentially make killer a power roll. But I mean, that's a far-fetched dream. That's a very far-fetched dream. I don't see killer ever being stronger than survivor. Unless the survivor team is really bad. Then, yeah, the killer is strong. But bro, there's like 25 pallets on the map. 20, maybe. And it's just... There's so many defenses at the survivor's hands that they never really fear anything. And they never really have to fear anything because they just have so many pallets and windows. And Bloodlust doesn't do a whole lot. Like, let's be completely honest, Bloodlust is not that effective. Because after you break a pallet or get some by pallet, your Bloodlust gets removed. Because, I mean, there's not really much point to running Ruin Undying, because pressure gens, you see aura, you run to it, they stop cleansing your totem, bada bing, bada boom, wait for Undying to get nerfed, So our perks aren't going to get nerfed anytime soon, so let's be plain honest. Decisive, that's not getting a nerf soon. Unbreakable, that's not getting a nerf soon. Dead Hard, that's not getting a rework soon. But I'm not biased. Like I could see Noed getting some sort of rework to make it, less frustrating to play against and more rewarding. Instead of just, hey, you got completely gen rushed. Yeah, you can have this. But I completely wouldn't mind it. No one escapes death rework. I reckon they could make it strong. But they're not going to. They're going to kill it. If anything, they're just going to remove the exposed status effect and call it a day. That's literally what they're going to do. But I've rambled on for too long. Enjoy the rest of this Blight video. I hope you enjoyed it. I know I enjoyed playing these games because these survivors weren't as good as Twitch streamers. And I will try and make a continuous upload schedule, and go follow my Twitch at TimeSaverGamer on Twitch. And I try and stream regularly. Hope you can tune in, and I'll catch you all later. See yous.